Hi, I'm Beni Lopez, Chief Globalization Officer for Softtek. I want to share with you what happened a couple of days ago at the Forrester Sourcing and Vendor Management Forum 2011 in Miami. We were fortunate enough to be invited to be part of a keynote session in front of all the whole audience where we shared our approach for vendor manager professionals on how to implement a risk diversification strategy or a diversification strategy in their offshore outsourcing programs. Most organizations have successfully implemented offshore outsourcing portfolios, complete portfolios, either sole or multi-sourcing, and but more and more the business is asking them for alternatives to India, essentially. And those have been driven primarily for one of three reasons. What we hear more often is the risk diversification. They don't want to have all the eggs placed in one basket. Or two, they may want to explore alternative delivery models because of the limitations of time zone and distance. And number three, it's because they're seeing this continuous trend of growing their own businesses into emerging markets, particularly Latin America, and there has been increased interest in that region also as a sourcing or delivery capability for them. So what we shared at the event was our approach to how to successfully implement an India plus one or a diversification strategy given those reasons that I've just mentioned, or those motivations that organizations are showing increasingly. So what we have been doing for the past 15 years is suggest a more structured approach, make it a little bit less ad hoc, a little bit less empirical, if you will. Of going beyond assessing the country or beyond assessing the specific vendors that you are considering, which is important, but we also believe that it's just as, if not more important, to first make an assessment of your own portfolio, of what features do the projects that you are having out considering or already outsourcing have that would probably be a best match or a better match for a nearshore type of engagement. And we have a two-layer approach. First, look at the characteristic of the project in terms of the level of interaction or collaboration that you think is going to require between your own teams and the outsourcing partners. Also, the mission criticality, the complexity, the level of definition that the requirements already have. Has it already been clearly defined, or is it still in the process of being defined, which is going to require a lot of back and forth with the user community to understand what they're actually looking for. But not stopping there at a project level, but also then look at the features of the portfolio in terms of the engagement model. Are you thinking of doing staff augmentation, or are you thinking of doing some managed services? Are you thinking of doing, what sort of metrics are you thinking of measuring? Typical ones such as the on-site to nearshore in this case, or offshore ratio, that obviously drives cost significantly. What are the risk profiles that you're looking for in terms of the portfolio? Is it going to be very sensitive data? Is it going to be even export control data? So we suggested a series of features as well at a portfolio level that then, depending on what you qualify, both the specific projects as well as the general portfolio, it may suit, you may find a much clearer map of what to consider to send to your nearshore alternative. And then, of course, we touched on a business case with one of our clients, Novell, on how their experience has been on moving from an offshore, pure offshore model to now a combination of offshore as well as a nearshore component to that. And they shared how, for example, in the testing environment, they were thinking that the promise of offshore was to have this 24/7 testing cycle, when in fact really practical matters actually extended the time, because as the developers were sending the objects to test, instead of coming back the following day with those artifacts already being tested, what they found was a series of questions that they needed to address first before they started the actual test cycle. So that actually added time instead of compressing the cycle. So when they moved to the nearshore model, they then found that it was a much simpler, highly interactive, highly collaborative approach of the developer sending back and forth to the testers, and the testers sending them back the results during regular business hours, which gave them a chance for faster cycles. So it was a very interesting case, and I hope you have a chance to talk to one of our associates and discuss what your challenges are. I'm sure we can share some of these experiences to you. Thank you. Talk to you soon.